Imagine, in the future, if you had a personal safety device that would call 911 for you in an emergency. Well, guess what? The future is here.
Welcome to Situational Awareness Institute. Today, we are unboxing the TASER Pulse Plus.
Okay, today we're going to unbox a brand new TASER Pulse Plus. Now, for those of you that already have the Pulse, I'm sure you love it like I did mine, but the Plus gives you the added benefit of integration of the Noonlight application. And what that does for you, something that the Pulse doesn't do, but this Pulse Plus does, is with Noonlight, when you deploy it, of course, with justification, but when you deploy it, it will use Noonlight to call 911 and give your location and contact emergency dispatch so you get help en route immediately. And that's good because a lot of people are under extreme stress when they have to defend themselves and they experience fine motor dexterity issues. They have a hard time dialing 911, even unlocking their phone. So this does that for you. And just like the Pulse, it can disable the attacker for up to 30 seconds. Now, the police unit that I used for years, that has a 5-second cycle. But the civilian one gives you 30 seconds, where when you deploy it, you put the probes on target of your assailant. They're disabled for 30 seconds. That gives you plenty of time to get away. And then once you're in a safe location, call 911. But remember, providing you connect this Bluetooth with your cell phone, it's going to call 911 for you and give your GPS coordinates and tell them you need help. Now, when you do deploy it, you have a laser on this, and there is a light also. A lot of times you have to defend yourself in diminished light situations. Well, the laser and then the assist light help you illuminate your target and be precise about where you place the probes. And it's a 15-foot range. And we talked about safe escape. This is a substantial investment, but a worthy investment because it protects your life. And you don't have to worry about when you deploy it. We call it a pop and drop weapon, meaning that you deploy it and drop the weapon and you have 30 seconds to get away. You don't have to worry about the replacement cost because when you file the police report, TASER will replace this unit for you free of charge. Now let's look at the side of the box and see here. The Pulse Plus, as opposed to a stun gun and pepper spray, the advantages. With Pulse Plus, you have 15 feet of range. With the stun gun, you've got to get within arm's length to make contact with your assailant. And that puts you in greater danger because when you can touch them, they can touch you. And everything you have on is now theirs by proximity. Pepper spray is good for about 8 feet. And something I've learned in law enforcement from using it is when you deploy your pepper spray, right before you deploy it, take a wind reading. Because if you spray that pepper spray into the wind, it's going to blow it back on you. And pepper spray is most potent when it atomizes with air. So a lot of times in a panic, people spray it, but the wind blows it back in their face and all they've done is disable themselves and they're more at the mercy of the attacker. All right, so over here on the attacker impact, the Pulse will give total nervous system override. The stun gun is only pain compliance. It's only localized to that one little area where you touch your attacker, and it only hurts there. A true stun gun is not a taser. A stun gun doesn't give you NMI, neuromuscular incapacitation, body-wide, which is what the Pulse Plus will give you when used properly. Pepper spray will sting their eyes. And if you have somebody that's on a stimulant or intoxicated or they're just used to pain in their life, a lot of times they can override that pepper spray. And some people it even agitates more. I've had that experience as well. All right, emergency dispatch, when you fire the Pulse or deploy the Pulse, it will use Noonlight to call dispatch for you. A stun gun is not going to do that, and pepper spray doesn't do that. Nervous system override with the Pulse Plus, it's a 30-second ride. So you have 30 seconds that they're disabled when it's used properly for you to get away. With a stun gun, as soon as you break contact with them to get away, you've stopped contact with the stun gun and then they return to full capability to hurt you. Pepper spray, it just depends on the individual attacker and their motivation, whether they can fight through that, but many can. Okay, let's open the box and see what we've got. You notice the packaging that TASER puts their products in, just like all their products, is well thought out and futuristic in nature. We'll go over here to the side, lift the tab. And there's our unit. It's the Pulse Plus, the safety switch, and 2 cartridges. And over here it reminds you, be prepared. We offer a variety of training resources to ensure that you're prepared to use your TASER device when you need it most. And you can access training through their website, of which I'm one of the instructors listed on there under Situational Awareness Institute. I've actually delivered TASER training all over the nation, and depending upon your needs, we might be able to come to your location and help you out. Let's talk about the actual product. Okay, we see here, the Pulse Plus is shaped and looks like a firearm. So you want to make sure that when you do use it, that you're identified as one of the good guys. And it comes taped, the safety switch in the down position, so down is safe. Now, we don't have a battery in it yet, or I would just go ahead and arc it, because everybody loves to see the TASER arc. But see, this is where the battery goes. So we're going to show you how to put the battery in shortly. We're going to go ahead and explore this box a little more. So we have the unit. We point it in a safe direction. And then we have the cartridges that come in the cartridge carrier, the shipping carrier that contains it for safety. We'll show you how to take those out and how to load those. Set those down there. Now you're like, well, there's no battery. Well, we've got a little secret compartment here. Take this foam off and see where it says lift or retrieve your quick start guide and practice target. So it's almost like a little secret compartment. See there? So here's the battery container, the actual batteries. And see, these are the CR123As that you can get anywhere, which is good. And then we have a TASER target here. Take that out. Ready, set, train. Learn about your new device and start training at train.taser.com. All right, let's look at this target. This is what we're going to use when we test fire it here shortly. I'm hoping it's one of the reactive targets. Reactive targets. I don't know if you've seen our other videos where we deploy into a reactive target. TASER makes wonderful practice targets that will show arcing and show the connectivity. Oh yes, this is one of the TASER reactive targets. So we're going to put that up and we'll deploy into that, and we'll give you some guidance on that. And then also we're going to show you what that looks like in the dark with all the arcing going on, which is really impressive. Okay, we've got our TASER Pulse Plus, and here's our battery container and our batteries. So let's go ahead and set up the battery pack so that we can put it in and arc it and test it out. And then we'll show you how to load the actual cartridge. All right, so we've got the container, and this is the connector clip. And then the top. Grab the 2 CR123A as an atom batteries. So we'll grab those. And you see on the top of the container how it shows you, see there's a cutout there for the wires for the power supply, and the top of this battery needs to be plus and the top of that one needs to be minus. So you look on your battery, there's plus, so then we know it goes in there. It's my OCD coming out. Look, it's got to be centered. And then of course by process of elimination, then the bottom of that one is going to be negative. All right, so we put that in there. All right, and there's the little cutout. And see how this part holds the batteries in place. Snap that into place. When you hear the click, you know you got it right. All right. Okay, we've got our batteries loaded in the battery pack. we're going to go ahead and open the bottom of the unit. And so we have the little connector there. That matches this connector. So what you do, this makes it easier for you, is you go ahead and take your finger and pin that connector in place. You see the notch on this one? It lines up with the opening there. Okay, you make sure they're snapped in really good. Then you take your battery pack. And this fits snug, so you're going to have to apply a little force, but you push it in, always keeping that point in a safe direction. And then see how the grooves on this plate line up with the rails there? Snap it into place. And now you're at the moment we've all waited for. You can take the safety tape off, the safety lever switch. Remember, down is in the safe position. Up is in the arm position. See, when we rotate it up, we know we've got a good connection, a good battery, because the green indicator light comes on. Now I'm indexing my finger for safety, but we can also look up and see the laser beam. There we go. And also we have the light emitting diode light that can illuminate our target. All right, so everybody wants to see it arc, don't we? All right, let's go ahead and see it arc. And that slows down a little bit when your attacker is undergoing the cycle. You know, it starts with the faster pace of 19 cycles a second, and it's going to slow down a little bit to give them just a little bit of a rest, but they're still debilitated for the most part. But anyway, we'll go ahead and remind you, up is armed. Green light means you have a good battery. You see the red dot. You know, in firearms, we say if you see, you know, red, you're dead. But up is armed, down is safe. Okay, we've got the batteries in. It's pointed in the safe direction and the safety's on. We're going to show you how to load a cartridge. Now you see the cartridges come with these carriers on them. Now you notice it's open on one side and then has these protective ribs on the other side. This is the side you want towards you when you remove it from the carrier. So this side's open, you set it down on a solid surface. And I find that if you take your fingers and grip these right here, take your index fingers and your thumbs on the middle and you just press toward the bottom just a little bit, that it pops and it starts to slide out. And see there? We can take it out of the carrier. No problem whatsoever. Now this is real easy to load. I prefer to have the cartridge face down on a hard surface. Take the unit itself, we'll move it over here. Take the unit itself, line it up over the cartridge and press until you hear the click. And we can see it's flush with the front of the unit. We never put our hands in front of that cartridge. Always point it in a safe direction. We're going to deploy it into the target later, so I'm not going to turn it on and spark test it with a cartridge in it. We don't want to have an accidental discharge. So we're ready to go. Okay, let's go over the documents that you're going to find inside your new TASER Pulse Plus. Okay, we're going to set the unit to the side, point in the safe direction, and the cartridges with their shipping containers in place. Set them off to the side. Remove the foam, and then you see lift to reveal. It's reveal like you're getting a prize. All right, and we have in here our TASER target. I highly suggest, if you can, get your hands on the TASER reactive target. You get the most feedback and really the most satisfaction out of using one of the reactive targets when you're practicing. And then of course we have the TASER warnings, which is always good to read. And then your warranty. Create a file for all your stuff that has a warranty and put your warranty in there. And then you can join the Lightning Club. There's a card in here on that. Let's see if we can get a hold of that, get that out. So you'll definitely want to read that and learn more at train.taser.com. Ready, set, train. All right, now, also you have the Noonlight, which is the app that you can install that the Pulse Plus will react with. Once you deploy it, it will contact 911 for you through the Noonlight application. And I've got the Noonlight application on my phone. I love it. I think it's a great thing that everybody should have on their phone. Even if you don't have the Pulse Plus, I highly recommend the Noonlight application. So those are our documents that we've got in here. Always good documentation with TASER. Everything they do is to a standard of excellence. And they want to keep you educated and informed to keep you the safest that they can. Okay, we're going to test the Noonlight app. It works in conjunction with your new TASER Pulse Plus. If you're in danger, it dials 911 for you. So we're going to go ahead and make sure before we involve the actual TASER deployment that we've got the app set up right. So in order to use Noonlight, if you're ever in a dangerous situation, you just press it and you'll hold this button down. And then if you think you're in danger and it's getting worse and you're going to need help, you just let go of it. And if you don't enter your PIN, it will alert 911 of your GPS location and that you need help. Okay, we've loaded the Noonlight app on our cell phone and we've synced it with our TASER Pulse Plus. We have a cartridge in the TASER, we have it in the down and safe position, and we have a potential assailant. We're in danger. The facts and circumstances justify deployment. So we're going to go ahead and deploy, and then we're going to wait for 911 to call and make sure we're safe. We're going to go ahead and aim in the lower abdomen so that we get that good probe spread. One lower abdomen, one lower leg, involved in two muscle groups. TASER, TASER, TASER. Okay, they're taking the 30-second ride. And we're getting a call. Hello, this is Phil.
Hi, Phil. This is Sadie with TASER Pulse Plus. We have received an alarm from your TASER. Is everything okay?
Yes, actually, I'm an instructor, and I've synced it with Noonlight, and I worked with the director of 911 to test it and make sure that it did as it's supposed to, because I would like to do a positive social media post to show people the advantages of Noonlight and of TASER Pulse Plus.
Well, thank you so much. But as you advised, you said that everything's okay. I just need the 4-digit PIN to go ahead and close this alarm for you.
Yes, ma'am. My 4-digit PIN is...
That is correct. I'll go ahead and close this alarm. You have a great afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am. You too.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, we deployed our TASER Pulse Plus from about 7 feet away, and that gave us, as we predicted, about a foot of probe spread. Now you see we put one probe in the lower abdomen in that muscle group and one in the upper leg in that muscle group. We call that splitting the hemispheres. When you do that and you get at least 12 inches of probe spread, we recommend 18 inches for more NMI, neuromuscular incapacitation. When you split the hemispheres and you get that kind of probe spread, you have a greater chance of NMI, that full body lockup that is debilitating to your assailant and allows you to get away safely. Okay, I'm about 7 feet away from the target in total darkness, and I'm going to show you by activating my Pulse Plus how the TASER reactive target gives us that visual feedback. See between the probes, you can see how the pulses are affecting all the muscle tissue under the skin. And this is where good NMI gives that total body lockup to the assailant.
This is Georgia Napolitano reminding you that victory favors the well-trained warrior.